Hey everyone, how you doing? So have you noticed this month of October is just zipping right by? I cannot believe how fast it's going. Not that I'm complaining. Not looking forward to that stuff, that we get. Because then we're totally stranded. That stuff strands us. Oh, it does. Because we can't shovel. Can't find the guy who used to shovel. He used a plow. Very cheaply. He did dig up my whole grass, but oh well, at least we were able to get out if we had to. Like, if you had to go to the doctors or something. But anyhow, that's just a little tidbit. So what I was going to talk about today was, I watch usually family channels, and family channels, they have new babies, and then, I don't know, a lot of these people who talk about channels say, a lot of these people are just having babies to make money off YouTube because that's a big money maker, which sickens me that people would just have babies so they could get more views and more subs and all. That's just gross. But anyhow, and that started me thinking about how, I think I've talked about some of this, touched on it before, all these fancy schmancy things, like they have something called the snoo, which is like a straitjacket thing. And according to them, I don't know, it must be $5,000. I don't know. I've never looked up. It costs a lot. They put your baby in this kind of, it almost looks like the olden days bassinet, but it has no, like, little hood on it, no top, just the bed part. And in there are literally a straitjacket. So you straitjacket your kid in this Velcro, your tiny newborn baby, and then the baby knows nothing. The bed knows when the baby starts stirring, and then it starts moving. And then the baby can't move because I guess right now it must be called back to sleep, which that always changes over the years. I could never put my baby in something like that where they're trapped. I don't understand it. Nothing against people who do it, You do you, boo. Everyone does their own thing. But all these fancy kind of things, like the owlette, which I think is something they put on their toe and they could see their oxygen. I don't know, don't quote me, but all kinds of weird things. So then again started me thinking more, and I remember when I was with my first husband, somehow in all his junk, well, he didn't have a lot of junk, he didn't have a lot of anything. In his few little box of whatever, he had found his baby book, and it was really interesting. We went through it, and it said, like back in the day, he was a lot older than me, so it said how to make baby formula. I can't remember everything now because it was a long time ago, but I think it had to do with carnation evaporated milk, and I don't remember what else. So I started thinking when they had the shortage on baby formula, and I don't know if they still do. I remember hearing this, they said, do not go ahead and make baby formula with evaporated milk. Check with your pediatrician. So how was that okay back then and it isn't now? And things change, especially, me having so many kids. I saw the change. Like, sometimes babies had to sleep on their backs, sometimes on their front, sometimes on their side. I never put my baby on their front because all I imagine at some point they're going to learn how to lift their head, but not exactly, and they could smush their little face in the either bassinet if they're still in their crib, and that's it, they're gone. So I never did that. I also found that after I had a baby, like the first one, you're just like holding on to every word the doctor says, the pediatrician, like with bated breath to tell you how to take care of your own child. But you're young, this is something new, babies don't come with instructions, and then you listen, and then I'm talking about me. Then I learned by the time the second one came, some things they were saying were just like, it's like they're looking out of a textbook. And I've always been of the mindset that just because someone goes to college, and obviously I have several college degrees, so I'm definitely not against college, but College does nothing. I mean, that came out wrong. Having a college degree is against having real life experiences. I think real life experiences is much more help. Of course, when you can't, in the job field, maybe you might not be able to get a job unless you have a college degree, but like you could take all kinds of courses on baby stuff. You could be a NP, nurse practitioner, PA physician assistant, RN, registered nurse, MD, doctor, OBGYN, a doctor who delivers babies. You could be everything, but I learned that one of my OBGYNs never even had a child, and I'm thinking, okay, they could tell you this and that, and your baby's born and how you choose to feed the baby, and then the nurses come in and they're teaching you, like, if you're breastfeeding, how to do it. And I remember I had one Broomhilda, or how do you call those bad nurses? Oh, Nurse Ratchet, I don't know, something like that. She comes in, it was my, oh my God, it was my, let's see, 6th baby. I'm like, I don't know, I don't need help. I've done this 5 times before. Oh no, she was determined, and was she mean to me. And I said to her, I says, have you had any children? She says, no. So I'm like, so how do you think your way is the better way? She was just mean. So I says, I've had enough, thank you. Thank you for your help, but I'm good. And I remember with the first baby, I would never speak up like that because I thought whatever they said had to be done. But as, time went on and I had the experience with this little baby that, you know nothing about. And I remember being scared. Well, my first baby was in the NICU for 10 days. I believe he had that strep thing that I don't know if they were checking it back then. And I don't even know if they knew what it was, what he had. But he had gotten pneumonia while he was in the hospital. How does that even happen? Makes no sense. Because when you're nursing your child, they say they have immunities. So I don't know. In that hospital, they kept you longer. Nowadays, I think you can get out, in a few hours. But anyhow, so, of course, it scared me. I didn't have a very good start at the beginning, the first child I had. But, as I was taking care of him, I learned. And, of course, I think the first child, I pretty much listened to whatever the doctor said. And then the second one, they were more of a guide, but taken with a grain of salt. But isn't it funny, like, sometimes they'd say, oh, the whatever medical place that, we can't trust now, so how do we trust it then? But it would say, oh, give your newborn vitamins. Don't give your newborn vitamins. Newborn sleeps on their back. Newborn sleeps on their front. Newborn sleeps on their side. Start solids now. No, don't start them then. Now this new thing, they're having people give their babies things like peanut butter early, so they say it won't start allergies. I would have never given my baby at this young age peanut butter like they say now. And they have baby-led weaning. It's another thing I would not do. I got this thing about choking. So it was always hard when my kids had to move over to, well, the baby food was fine, but when the real food, I would always worry about choking. I remember one of my kids, they were well into the age of, they were already eating stuff, and they had already eaten a jelly sandwich, and I used to always buy this, I think it was called monk's bread, because it was more dense and hard, not like, I don't know, there's bread, Wonder Bread. I don't even know if they sell it. I remember, like I said, when I was raising my kids, everyone was like 20 years older than me. They were telling me about this Wonder Bread, so I don't even know if it was around when I was around. But anyhow, it was like really soft. So I would give my kids this monk bread, so it's more like I say, dense, less chance of choking. So one of my kids had been, eating already for a while, and I gave them a jelly sandwich, which they've had many times. And they sit at the table, and, that's how we ate, like normal families do. And he started to choke, and he couldn't cough or talk, and I had to do the Heimlich. And it scared me because I'm like, wow, he's already been eating, things can happen. But I couldn't imagine being a new parent nowadays where, especially if it's your first child and you listen to their word as if it was the word of God and what they say you do, like this child-led, did I say weaning? I don't know, it's like a child, I don't know what it's called now. Obviously I'm tired. Overheated, today I was very, very overheated. But anyhow, so the kid leads himself into how they eat. And I see on these videos, they give these way little babies, they have to be big enough to sit, right? That hasn't changed, but they're like stuffing their mouth with food, and the parents are giggling with them and like tickling them, and all I'm thinking is, why are you doing that? That's a chance for them to choke. Now, maybe you weren't like that and you were more calm, like, didn't think of it. I thought a lot. Like I said, once I had kids, that's when I started worrying. But, they're just tickling the kid as they're eating. I saw one vlog where they were just, I think it was the dad, and the kid was eating. Nowadays it seems like kids are just stuffing their faces all the time. They start crying or they're bad, they give them something to eat. Snacks, junk, But one dad was like holding the kid and throwing it in there as it had food in his mouth. I don't know. I don't understand people. But anyhow, the point of my story here was I was a person who, like I said, with the first kid pretty much, you didn't know anything, so you listen. And then as I went on, I learned more and more through experience. So like I said, doctors get their degree, and a lot of them don't even have kids. And I was going to tell you a story about a pediatrician, which was kind of cute, but considering she hasn't called us since February, since Polly got very sick with this heart thing, I don't even care to share it right now. But anyhow, like I say, these pediatricians, they don't, they haven't had babies, so they can have any textbook, and yes, they have experience with seeing other babies, but until you've had one of your own, you can say, yeah, let your baby cry it out, and blah, 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 and try to sleep when your baby sleeps, and, if you got two other kids, how are you going to do that? So I find it kind of funny that, people with no experience were given advice. So I'm just babbling here. So anyhow, how was it when you had kids? Did you have if you formula fed your babies, did you ever have, I don't know what period of time. Well, my ex was a lot older than me, so it would be, I don't know if you're, maybe 65 and older, and you use formula. Did you make up your own formula, or was there Similac? I remember being the thing they sent you home with. It's like they push people to formula feed, which I do see now on the blogs. Almost everyone is nursing, which I think is great, because I'm not a militant person. They used to have these AOL boards when I was raising my kids, and oh my gosh, if you asked a question like, your baby still was screaming, seemed hungry, and I would talk about supplementing, and oh my gosh, I would just get my head chopped off. It's nice to see they're doing natural, what your body's meant to do, and I'm not talking bad about people that can't do it, don't want to do it, whatever. I just think it's easier, you're dead tired, and instead of, having to make up a bottle, unless, you use the ready to feed, which I don't think I've even seen that anymore in the store. But they used to have ready to feed. I remember the can was 99 cents. I had bought a can in case, God forbid, something went wrong and I couldn't nurse my baby and I would have formula. But I remember later looking through the years, and oh my gosh, they went up. So this vlog is all over the place, just kind of sharing things here and there, and I'm really tired. I have not slept at all since Saturday night was last time, and like I say, I barely sleep a couple hours, so I'm really exhausted. So I guess my question to you is, and if I get answers, I don't know, I'm just curious, when you had your kids, if you have children, what were the things? Which way did they sleep? How did they have to sleep? Were vitamins a thing that you did? Or were you told to do, I should say? With jaundice, were you told to put your kids outside in a buggy or by the window? Were your children jaundiced? What kind of things, did the hospital send you home with formula? Did they encourage formula feeding or breastfeeding? What kind of things? Just, I'm always interested in things. I'm just a person who needs to know. So I'm just wondering, how was it then? Like I say, it seemed like with each one of my kids, it was always different. So how is it different? Like, say if baby number 7 or 8, they said don't give vitamins, and I did. The ones that had vitamins turned out okay. You know what I mean? It's just paperwork, bookwork, I think experience is a better way to take care and raise a baby. That's just my opinion. I mean, if you have a normal run-of-the-mill baby that doesn't have, health issues or wasn't a preemie, I think pretty much your mommy gut can tell you what to do. So I'm wondering, what are your thoughts on that? And I'm sure this is all over the place, but I don't have a way to read off when I write notes because my little candles are burning up. They're not real, you know what I mean, burning out of the battery, and there's no way to replace it. I was going to show you the bottom, but you won't be able to see it. They used to have at the bottom, it had a little latch, you unlatch it, you put a new battery in, but now they have a little screw, and I even bought a pack of little tiny screws from the Dollar Tree when it was $1, and even the littlest one, you couldn't open it. So basically they're throwaway things, which I don't like. I'd rather reuse things. So anyhow, I got to reuse things from talking about little babies and how was it when you had babies? And did it change if you had more than one child? Like did it say like the first baby, oh yeah, give vitamins. Second one, oh gosh, don't give vitamins. First one lays on their back, next one lays on their stomach. Third one lays on their side. And how did you handle things? Did you follow what they said or did you use your mommy gut? Just wondering, there's no right or wrong answer. Everyone has their own opinion and their own way of doing things. So let me know. So for now, don't forget to subscribe, like, hit the notification bell. Sharing is caring. Don't forget to pay it forward. It feels good in your heart, especially around holiday time. I mean, everyone's struggling right now, but, the holidays are really hard. I know for me, I had so hoped this holiday would be a different one. But now what's happened with, who, I don't even know what's going to happen. He had already said, because he used to come and make the turkey for us, and last year he didn't want to do it, or maybe 2 years already. So I think last year, I don't even know if we had some, but if we did, it was just a turkey breast. So I'm pretty sure he's not going to come over. Of course, I would buy a turkey. I don't think he'll do it. I can't make a turkey. I talked about it. If you want, I could do another story about why I can't make a turkey. But, it's not fair. But, I mean, I'll do stuff like stuffing and mashed potatoes. I mean, but Polly really enjoys the turkey, so I don't know what I'm going to do there. But I don't know how I went from there to here, or here to there. I don't know, whichever way. Anyhow, so share your experiences about your babies and if you had more than one and how it worked and what they said and what you did. Okay, that's enough. So anyhow, be kind to people. You don't know what they're going through. Be kind to yourself. Do something nice. Most importantly, stay safe. Thanks for walking by. I hope you're not walking by. Stopping by, and I'll see you again.